Welcome back to the BodyMaitre podcast. I'm your host, Derek, and you're listening to Season 1 of our series, How Bad Guys Work. In this season, we've explored the deeper energetic mechanics behind harmful or dysfunctional behavior, not just the behavior itself, but the consciousness patterns underneath it. Patterns that exist in the four bodies: the spiritual body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the physical body. We've explored many archetypes already. Today, we turn to an archetype many fear, misunderstand, or judge: the addict. When we hear the word addiction, many think of alcohol, drugs, gambling, or substances. But addiction is not limited to chemicals. Addiction can also show up as emotional dependency, food, scrolling, validation, drama, achievement, spirituality, fantasy, gaming, relationships, work, shopping, or even suffering. Addiction is not about the object, it's about the void inside. Addiction is a coping strategy, a way to fill emptiness, numb pain, or escape emotional discomfort. For the addict, consciousness, presence feels threatening. Stillness feels unbearable. Silence reveals too much. So instead of sitting with the inner world, the person reaches outward, towards something that brings stimulation, relief, or emotional sedating. The subconscious belief becomes, I need something outside of me to feel okay. Imagine a woman named Maya. Maya looks strong, capable, and put together. No one would call her an addict. But every night when she's alone, she reaches for scrolling, online shopping, sugar, or anything that keeps her from feeling what's underneath. She tells herself, it's harmless, I deserve this, it helps me relax. But each time the rush fades, she feels more empty than before. She promises herself she will stop. But the next day, the cycle repeats, not because she's weak, not because she lacks discipline, but because the behavior is soothing something deeper, something unprocessed. Addiction often forms when emotional needs go unmet. Self-love was never modeled. Belonging was conditional. Rejection became identity, or when feeling seen or loved required effort. Over time, the nervous system learns. Comfort doesn't come from within. It must be taken from outside. Addiction is the attempt to self-regulate when the inner world has never felt safe. To understand this at the consciousness level, we turned to the BodyMaitre 4 Bodies Dowsing charts and asked Spirit and the collective angelic team, what are the most common 4 bodies distortions that create addiction behavior? Here are the findings. First, the spiritual body is entangled with lower forces' collective influences. The spiritual body is entangled with lower collective fields of escape, numbing, avoidance, and dependency. This pulls the consciousness downward, making presence difficult and escapism attractive. Instead of being guided by intuition or higher awareness, the person becomes influenced by energetic fields of distraction. Next, the mental body is seeking love outside of self. The mental body holds the belief, I am not enough on my own. Love, safety, comfort, and validation must be taken or found externally because internally the person does not feel complete. Then, the emotional body feels rejected. At the emotional level, we find a core imprint: rejection. The addict often carries ancient wounds. I am unwanted. I don't belong. I am not valued. Addiction becomes the balm, the temporary comfort that replaces emotional connection. Finally, the physical body feels that life has lost its sweetness. The physical body reflects numbness. Food, relationships, experiences, even achievements stop feeling nourishing or joyful. So the body reaches for stimulation, something to temporarily bring sweetness back into life, even if only for a moment. When these 4 bodies' distortions merge, spirit is pulled downward. The mind searches outside for fulfillment. The heart carries rejection wounds, and the body feels numb, flat, or disconnected. This creates a cycle: pain, escape, relief, shame, pain, escape. Addiction is not the enemy. It is the signal of unmet emotional needs and unresolved spiritual wounds. Addicts are not weak. They are wounded. They are not broken. They are overwhelmed. They are not out of control. They are out of connection. Addiction is a coping mechanism for someone who never learned how to feel safe inside their own body. If you recognize addiction patterns within yourself or someone in your field, let's release the underlying energies together. Speak these aloud or silently with intention. For the spiritual body, spirit, high self, and collective angelic team, I release all lower force attachments and influences pulling my consciousness toward escape instead of presence. For the mental body, spirit, high self, and collective angelic team, I release the belief that love, safety, and worth must come from external sources. Please restore self-love, inner connection, and self-resourcing. For the emotional body, spirit, high self, and collective angelic team, I release emotional rejection wounds stored in my system. Please restore belonging, acceptance, and emotional safety. For the physical body, spirit, high self, and collective angelic team, I release numbness, emotional exhaustion, and disconnection from life. Please restore joy, sensitivity, presence, and aliveness. Take a deep breath. Allow softness to return. Thank you for joining me in episode 14 of How Bad Guys Work. Today we explored the addict, the lower force influences, mental beliefs, emotional wounds, and physical numbness that drive escape-based behavior. In our next episode, we explore episode 15, The Opportunist, why some people take advantage when others are vulnerable. Until then, stay conscious, stay aware, and take care of your four bodies.